Part 1. The Architect of Loneliness. In the shadows of Philadelphia's skyscrapers, Vahar was a force of nature. At 32, she had constructed a life that looked like a masterpiece, a PhD on the wall, a high-rise view of the city, and a reputation for being the sharpest corporate mind in the room. But Vahar was a woman built on a foundation of stories. As an adopted child, her mother had raised her on the magic of fairy tales, where love was a destiny, not a transaction. "Be a woman of substance, Vahar," her mama would tell her. "Build your kingdom, but keep the gates open for a man who sees your soul, not just your crown." Vahar built the kingdom, but the walls grew too high. She spent her 20s becoming super professional and super feminine, thinking excellence would attract the right man. Instead, it attracted sharks. Men didn't look at her with romance. They looked at her with competitive hunger. She was a trophy to be won or a rival to be managed. The more she succeeded, the quieter her luxury apartment became. Part 2. The Consulting Date and the Digital Forest. The breaking point happened at a candlelit table in Rittenhouse Square. Vahar wore her favorite silk dress, hoping for a spark with a high-level tech executive. But as the wine poured, the conversation stayed cold. He didn't ask about her dreams. He interrogated her about her recent multi-million-dollar merger. When the check arrived, he didn't even reach for his wallet. He leaned back and smirked. "I figured we'd just split it. You probably make more than I do, and honestly, this was a great consulting session for me. I've learned more from you tonight than I did in my last seminar." Vahar paid the bill, her face burning. She was done. In a moment of frustration, she joined a dating app, but the messages that flooded in were trash, hollow hookup requests and games. She was about to delete it all when the doorbell rang. Standing there was David. He was a delivery man in simple jeans and a t-shirt, sweat on his brow, but he had a smile that felt like the sun. Vahar had never really thought about dating a black guy, but his mannerisms were super polite, and his presence was masculine yet soft. "David," she said, seeing his name on the app, "how are you doing today? Thank you for this order. It took a lot to get it here." "I'm doing wonderful, miss," David replied with a respectful gesture. "I hope you have a spectacular day. Now, let me get back to my work." As he walked away, Vahar felt the door to her future closing. She chased him into the hallway. "David, stop! What are you doing after work?" He laughed, a deep, honest sound. "Miss, I do nothing but work. You have a wonderful day now." She pressed her number into his hand. "If you ever stop working, text me." David looked at her, skeptical. "Are you trying to set me up, miss? I'm just a man trying to work hard and take care of my mom." "I'm not setting you up," Vahar whispered. "I'd like to be your friend." David smiled and placed the paper back in her hand. "Take your number back. Instead, take mine. If you still want to be friends with the delivery guy tomorrow, give me a call." Part 3. The Shadow in the Garage. Vahar went back inside with butterflies, laughing at herself. "What did I just do?" she whispered, placing David's number on the counter and returning to her corporate shell. She almost forgot about him until a week later. In the parking garage, she overheard a man from her building on his phone. Yeah, I'm taking Vahar out, he laughed. Nothing serious. I just want to pull her brain for some ideas on my new business plan. The disappointment was a cold weight. Vahar realized the men in her circle saw her as a resource, not a person. She canceled the date and texted David. Hi, David. It's the crazy lady from the apartment. I think I'm done with the sharks. 20 minutes later, he replied. Hi, Vahar. Sorry for the late reply. Us delivery men stay busy. I didn't think I'd hear from you. For the next 2 weeks, they lived in the late-night hours. While David drove his taxi through the neon streets of Philly, they talked. He told her about his hustle and his dreams. For the first time, Vahar wasn't being consulted, she was being heard. Part 4. The Sacred Picnic. When David finally asked her out, he was honest. Vahar, you're a beautiful woman in a fancy building. I'm just a delivery man and a taxi driver. Vahar laughed. It doesn't matter, David. It's the thought that counts. Sunday at noon, she walked out in a casual dress. David didn't take her to a steakhouse. He took her to a quiet corner of Fairmount Park. He had set up a picnic blanket with home-cooked meals and fresh drinks he had made himself. You cooked all of this? She asked, stunned. In my world, David said, we don't outsource care. If I value a woman, I put my time into the meal. As she tasted the food rich, flavorful, and warm, Vahar felt her defenses finally drop. She won't a CEO or a PhD holder on that grass. She was just a woman being seen and loved for exactly who she was. The glass fortress had finally crumbled, and Vahar was finally home.